Okay, so here's the challenge whilst we're in this period of self-isolation or lockdown or house arrest, whatever you want to call it. The challenge is to complete a little bit of the exercise program that I'm going to give you every day or every couple of days, so that over this period we're taking it as an opportunity to build functional strength, fitness, rather than become idle and lose whatever kind of mobility and strength that we've got. See this as an opportunity rather than a setback. Right? Every cloud has a silver lining. So the program I'm going to give you is rather appropriate. It's a very well-known body weight program. It's called Convict Conditioning. It comes from a book that was published in around 2009, which brought the idea of body weight exercise or calisthenics back into the strength training community. Prior to that, it had been largely throwing weights around and so on. But this was a revisionist program offered by someone called Paul Wade, who's a bit of an international man of mystery himself. No one's ever seen him. There's a bit of mystique about the whole thing. But the basic idea is that it's built upon what convicts or inmates in penitentiaries or prisons can do in order to keep themselves fit and strong, or to increase their fitness and their strength, and also to stop themselves going stir crazy. So that's the basic idea. It requires very little equipment. At various points, if we get far enough, you might need a tree branch or a table or a ball, football or a tennis ball, something like that, a table, a chair, but that's about it. And it can be done in a very small amount of space. So it can be done in your home. And the idea is that we're inside, we're locked away, and we can do this every day or every couple of days to improve our strength. The basic idea behind the program is that we're going to target 6 major groups or muscle areas. We're going to target the pectoral muscles, the chest, upper body, using mainly a press-up style motion. We're going to target the shoulders and the neck using an overhead press style motion. We're going to target the spinal column and all the supporting muscles around the spinal column through a kind of bridging style motion. We're going to attack the back and strengthen the back through a kind of pulling or pull-up style motion. We're going to strengthen the core, big supporting muscles of the core, through a leg raise style motion. And we're going to strengthen the legs and the glutes and the hams through a squatting style motion. Now, each exercise for each body part comes in a series of levels, 1 to 10. Chances are we won't get it through more than about levels 2 or 3 in the time that this lockdown hopefully goes on for, because it takes a little bit of time to get mastery of each level before you move on. Goes all the way up to 10, a series of progressions of increasing difficulty that goes up to 10 being about as strong as you could ever be in that particular motion. In the next video, I'm going to give you all the exercises for level 1. So that's 6 exercises for level 1 for each body part or motion that I talked about. And you might find that some of these are very, very simple. For example, the press-up motion is against a wall. And if you've done press-ups before, or you're used to doing press-ups, that may be very, very simple. But stick with it at least for a couple of sessions on that, because at the very least it has a kind of repairing function. It's a correctional function. It just gets your body moving properly. Especially if you have an injury or you've had a limitation, shoulder problems. It's great for correcting motions and doing it without too much stress on the body. And then once you've achieved a certain level of mastery in that, which is measured by usually being able to do 3 sets of around 50 repetitions for each exercise, then you can move on to the next level. Now that's per exercise, not all exercises. So for example, you don't have to complete all the exercises to that standard to be able to move on to level 2. You only have to be able to complete each exercise to that standard before you move on to level 2 in that exercise. So for example, if you're good at press-ups and you can do 50 against the wall fairly easily for 3 sets, then you move on to level 2 for the press-up, for the chest variation. But you might stay on level 1 for the core exercises because your core is just not strong as your press-up motion. So you'd be ending up doing level 2 on chest, level 1 on everything else. And you might find that you're doing level 3 on something, level 2 on other things, level 1 on other things before you move on in a kind of a graded way. That will become clear as we go on. I'll also put up a kind of couple of simple routines to how to break this up during the week, depending on how much effort, time you want to put in. Assuming that you've got a fair bit of time at home now, then you can do 20 minutes a day most days and see a really good level of improvement. And as I've said in previous videos, it's just about making this mindless, just about getting on and doing it every day or every couple of days without really thinking about it. Just dedicating 20 minutes to it, which is all it would take if you do it every couple of days, 20 minutes every couple of days. And yeah, sure, there have been improvements on body weight and calisthenics since this program was published. You could go and look at all those kinds of other things, but as I said in a previous video, once you start to add stuff, you start to lose the kind of focus. And the main thing is just to do something, just to stick to it, to be mindless, just stick to it. Supplement it with other stuff you want, but just stick to doing this, the main core, and put the time and the effort in. And over time, you will see an improvement. You will see yourself getting stronger and fitter. So just knuckle down, get on with it. Don't put too much thought into it. Start it, stop it, get it done, go about the rest of your day and all the other stuff that you have to do. Apart from that, have fun and enjoy it. And see you soon.